order. Thank you everybody for joining us today. We'll start with our roll call. We'll just go down the line. Tate? Tom?
Present.
Michelle?
Present.
Myself. Dan?
Here.
Mandy?
Present.
Tommy?
Here.
Great, thank you guys for joining us. Okay, we will start with our roll call with our Pledge of Allegiance. And I wanted to see if I could get the All-State Choir kids to lead us in the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Sorry to put you guys on the spot. All right. Now is the appropriate time for visitors in the audience to be recognized and to speak on items both on the agenda and of general concerns to the patrons of the Green River Schools. There will be a limit of 3 minutes for an individual and 5 minutes for a group spokesperson. No speaker shall speak more than twice on any issue. The board is legally obligated to maintain confidentiality concerning district personnel, and therefore matters concerning district personnel will not be discussed. Do we have anybody that wants to make a comment? Okay, we'll move forward with our agenda. First, we have recognition of the boys' middle school wrestling. Coach Flores.
Madam Chair, Dr. Cooper, and Board of Trustees, I was asked to step in tonight to introduce Coach Flores and his middle school wrestlers. Mr. Beersley, it's a basketball game tonight. So tonight I was asked to step in to introduce him because they had an outstanding season. Jared has served as the head boys wrestling coach for Lincoln Middle School, and it's an honor for me to be here tonight to do this. I don't know how many of you know this, but I used to coach Jared when he was in high school. So it's kind of fun for me to look at this and see what's going on. It's pretty cool. Jared and his team has gone undefeated in dual meets. He's won every tournament and was conference champions this year. And I also believe that they were conference champions in the past few years. These team accomplishments don't just happen. It takes strong leadership, great relationships, and the ability to make something extremely hard a lot of fun for great kids. You know, as I look at that coaching staff, I'm just thinking to myself, I've wrestled with some of them. I've coached with some of them. I've coached some of them. And it's great to watch all of them continue this pride and tradition that has been part of Green River Wrestling for so long. So, without further ado, Coach Flores.
All right, before we get going, can I have my entire team and coaching staff that is here to come up? While the recognition is nice, these guys did all the work, right? All I did was set a practice plan, and these guys went above and beyond. I'm always learning from my coaches, always learning what we can do better, what worked, what didn't work. But ultimately, these guys did all the work, right? They won it. Every day they showed up, put their best foot forward with a great attitude. Sometimes things are a little bit more challenging than other, but ultimately at the end of the day, these guys showed up. The recognition is all theirs. So give it up for the boys middle school wrestling team. Good job.
Thank you. Congratulations, boys. Okay, next we have recognition of the All-State Choir. Mrs. Forbush.
This year we have had 3 different regional and all-state auditions that we've gone through in the fall, and we've had several who have been able to go through that process and be selected for those choirs. The first is the All-State Choir for the high school level. High school all-state auditions are hosted every year, and they go through, I always say, a very grueling process, I think. They have to learn 2 different song excerpts, which are usually very challenging, as well as reading music and also singing different scales and vocalises for their auditions. Those are recorded, sent in, and assessed, and the highest scores in the state are able to be selected for that all-state choir. There's also all-state band and orchestra. The all-state band, Mr. Klinsky, is at the high school tonight, and I just wanted to mention that he had 2 students as well make the all-state band, Carrington Birch and Becklin Sweat. And then the all-state students that we have this year for choir is Peyton Shiner and Caitlin Tanner and David Harmon. They're at the end. We also have all Northwest this year, all Northwest auditions, and those auditions were sent in, and we have students selected for that as well. I also had 8th grade students send in their auditions this year. The All Northwest Choir consists of students who sent in auditions from Wyoming, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, and Alaska. And we have 5 students selected for that, 2 of which are 8th grade. So we have Peyton Shiner, Caitlin Tanner, David Harmon, and also Kimber Macer, who is here tonight, and Hallie Young, and another 8th grade student. So. Last but not least, we also have the all-state jazz auditions. So the jazz choir is selected for the Wyoming All-State Jazz Choir, and that's a pretty elite choir. They only select 10 young men from the state to sing in that mixed choir and 10 young women, and David Harmon made that choir. So. And that is it. So thank you.
Congratulations to you guys. Oh yeah. Next we have recognition of All-State Student Council. Mrs. Klinsky.
Hello, Board, Superintendent Cooper, and Madam Chair. At State Student Council this year, Jonathan Myers was awarded the 2025 Student Council All-State Award. Jonathan is currently a student body president and has been in leadership for the last 2 years in our student council. Only 15 students in the state are selected to get the Student Council All-State Award, so that was a really cool feat for him. Couple things about Johnny. He has been a part of many committees, has run a lot of them. In the last 3 years, he's worked on our haunted house, collected baskets for Make-A-Wish and Love Local, sold raffle tickets, signed people up for the Blend Drive, has helped run the Blend Drive. He is an active part of Make-A-Wish, now called Love Local Week as well. And no matter what, he's always willing to help out. I calculated it today, and this is wild, but over the last 3 years, Johnny has lettered every year and has put in roughly 533 volunteer hours, which is roughly 25 full days. So you've spent a lot of time with me. That's a lot. He works really hard. He's an asset to our school and our council and truly our community. And I am so lucky to have him. So congratulations, Jonathan. And speaking of the blood drive, if anybody would like to sign up, we still have some open slots. Thank you.
Thank you. And congratulations, and thank you for all the hours of service that you've put in, and I'm sure we'll continue to put in, so thank you so much. Next, we have recognition of all state students from the State Thespian Festival. Mr. Skinner.
Thank you, Madam Chair, distinguished members of the board, superintendent. We are honored to be here, and we will, as a reminder, we'll meet with everybody out in the foyer afterwards, and we'll give you your awards so we save some time in here. To begin with, we had another incredible showing from our team at the State Thespian Festival this year. We placed third. I believe our trophy's there. We'll get everybody's names engraved on that. Next, we wanted to recognize our honorable mentions. That is the theater equivalent of all conference. For those of you more familiar with those terms. So if we can have each student just quickly raise your hand as we read your name so people get to know who you are. Our honorable mentions included Jeremy Neer, Aria Lesage, Emily Russell, Tori Smothers, Olivia Bauer-Taylor, Tayden Eagler, Catalina Calvino, Davin Welch, Autumn Montoya, Aisley Ray, Sasha McKenzie, J.C. Cornett, again Jeremy Neer, Tayden Eagler, and Cameron Quackenbush, Madeline Smith, Ryan Bodie, Adele Summerall, Bethany Holmes, and another award for Ryan Bodie. Our all-state winners placing in the very top percentages of the state. Along with our third place trophy, we had students of our devised one-act play. Raise your hand if you are here. That is a student-written, student-directed, student-produced play. They start from scratch, come up with an idea at the start of the school year, and then end up creating from just their ideas a whole play. They took third place with that. We had our arena one-act. We have Peyton here that we did a one-man show. He also placed third in that. And then our all-state winners, and these students also qualified to go on to the International Thespian Festival this summer. And that includes for costume design, Jeremy Neer and Autumn Montoya. In duet musical, Madeline Thomas and Harrison Hopkin, as well as Caitlin and Elise Tanner. In group musical, all-state recipients Madeline Thomas, Taylor Kendall, Emily Russell, Ryan Bodie, Cadence Duke, and Megan Thomas. In another group musical, we had Caitlin Tanner, Isabella Grote, Tayden Eagler, J.C. Steen, and Elise Tanner. And in our third musical group, we had Davin Welch, Autumn Montoya, and Alexander Pacheco. Receiving all-state award for his playwriting was Jeremy Neer. And in prop construction, Braden Thompson. And we had two solo musical all-state recipients, Caitlin Tanner and Elise Tanner. And in stage management, Ashlyn McCormick. And Green River received one other award of note that is one that I'm very, very proud to announce. Last year, I was honored with Theater Director of the Year, and this year, Melissa Skinner was named the Theater Director of the Year. So very pleased with that. Thank you, everyone, and good job, students. Way to go. Any questions we may field for you?
I don't
Job.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations. I know you guys put in a lot of hours of work, so
We
great
sure
work.
do. And at the end of March will be our next production. We'd love to have you there.
Okay, we have recognition of girls swimming. Coach Seeloff.
Hi, thank you for allowing me to come tonight. I really appreciate it. I love talking about my girls. And this one's kind of an exciting one. I don't know, but this will be my last one. So this is quite a group to end with, so I'm excited. I'm going to start with my youngest, which is Zoe Gilmore. Zoe, the short one over there. She's a she's a little spitfire, I'll tell you. Zoe earned all state and all conference honors this year. She was part of 2 relays that earned all state honors. One was second, which was the 200 medley relay, and then they also were state champions in the 200 freestyle relay. She placed in top 12 in her 2 events. She swam the 100 fly and the 500 free, and if you've been part of swimming, there are 2 events that are very close to each other, and was able to pull it off and do an amazing job. So we were really proud of her accomplishments this year. She did a great job. So all state and all conference honors for her. My second one is Kaylin Urick, who's not here tonight. Kaylin was also part of those 2 relays, the medley relay that took second, and the 200 free relay that was a state champion. She was a top 6 finisher in the 100-yard breaststroke, which is a long family history. If you've been involved in swimming at all, they're all breaststrokers, all 3 girls. They do amazing at that event. And then she was also part of the top 12 in the 200 IM in her individual, and again earned all conference and all state honors. So did an amazing job, but wasn't able to be here tonight. So my third one is Elena Kellhofer, who's also a junior. And Elena had 2 top 6 finishes, one in the 100 backstroke and one in the 50 freestyle. She's quite a sprinter, and was also part of my 2 relays, the 200 medley that took second, and then the 200 freestyle that took first. So, and then my last one is Tavia Arnell, and I have a few things that I'm gonna kind of mention about Tavia. But Tavia was a state champion this year in the 100 butterfly and the 200 IM. That was her 7th and 8th state championship, which is as many as you can get over the 4 years. She also was members of the 2 relays that we had. So over her, being a senior, over her 4 years, she earned 6 state titles as far as in relays also. So 8 in individual championships, 6 in relays, so 6 out of 8. Was part of one of our, was it 1 or 2? 2 state champion teams? 2 or 1? 1, I couldn't remember, sorry. So one state team championship. She owns a state record in the 100 butterfly in 3A. She owns a state record in the 200 IM in 4A. She also, her and I traveled to junior nationals this year and was able to compete at junior nationals, and that's a very elite thing to be able to do. And she's also, just kind of a little bit of a brag, is signed with CSU, and so she will be a Division I athlete this next year. So we're pretty excited for her. So a member of numerous conference records, pool records, she's got records all over. So it's just been really fun, and quite a privilege to coach her and to coach all of these girls that are here. They are amazing young ladies and work so hard and put in so many hours, and it's been a privilege to coach them. So thank you for letting me talk about them.
Congratulations and good luck, Tavia. Are we doing that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we're gonna do Give Me a Buck
All right.
drawing.
Give me a buck. So this is for 100 chamber bucks to our lucky staff member here. Lisa Brown, aide at Special Ed Lincoln. All right. So congratulations to Lisa Brown. She wins 100 chamber bucks.
Perfect. Thank you, Lisa, for all your hard work. Okay. We'll get started on our meeting. So can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll motion to approve the agenda.
Okay, moved by Mandy, second by Tate. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I needed an approval, or a motion to approve the consent agenda items.
I'll motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
Moved by Tom,
Second.
second by Mandy. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Perfect. District goals and leadership activities. We have the WSBA Legislative Forum and Reception on Sunday, February 22nd and 23rd. It's at Little America in Cheyenne, Wyoming. If you want to go, let Brooke know so she can make you a reservation if you need that. We also have a reminder about the 2026 COSBA National Conference in Louisville, Kentucky. It's March 13th through the 15th. Also let Brooke know if you want to go to that. And then we have an enrollment update.
Just a quick enrollment update. We're just down a little bit on the numbers as you see in your report there. I think we were down 6, if I remember correctly, over the holiday break from last semester to this semester. So just down a smidge. Overall, we're down roughly 70 for the year, so that does have a financial impact on us as we roll into next year. The average daily membership will be a little bit lower unless something dramatic happens and we have enough families moving into town this spring to make up for those 70 students. Overall, the trend, as I've said before, is smaller kindergarten classes coming in, larger graduating classes graduating out. The difference is roughly 40 kids when you look at the primary grades to the grades that are nearing or graduating that year. It's roughly in the 180s and it's roughly in the 140s down at the bottom. So this is a trend that's going to continue for a little while unless we have a big boom and we have some families move into town.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to personnel. We have 6.01, approval of certified resignations.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Superintendent Dr. Cooper, and Board of Trustees. These resignations and retirements that are coming forth this evening are really a result of last meeting when we asked your approval to allow us to put forth that $1,500 incentive for staff members, certified staff members, who are planning to not return, for them to give us that early notification so that we can continue to plan for staffing as we move forward here in the months to come. So our first resignation, is Journey Jess, who was the instrumental music at Lincoln Middle School. I ask for your approval for her resignation.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve?
I so move.
Moved
Second.
by Tommy, second by Dan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have approval of certified retirements.
For our certified retirements here, you will see there are several positions. We had Denise Klingenpeel, 5th grade at Washington Elementary. Thomas, or TJ Castillion, our vice principal at Green River High School. David Osselmeyer, 5th grade at Harrison Elementary. Nikki Osselmeyer, 3rd through 5th grade special services at Harrison Elementary. And Shannon Berhacek, counselor at Green River High School. And I do just want to also note here, Shannon Berhacek and Denise Klingenpeel are two truly looking at the retirement aspect. Mr. Castillion, Mr. Asselmeyer, and Mrs. Asselmeyer are really turned in it as a resignation. So just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll motion to approve the certified retirements.
Moved by Tom,
Second.
second by Tate. They're in a race tonight. Any discussion? I just want to say thank you to these guys. Are all amazing teachers, administrators, counselors. They do a lot for our district, so they will be missed. But
Agreed, definitely some shoes that will need to be filled, and we wish them the best in their next endeavor, whatever that may be, whether it is retirement or if they're continuing on and moving, but we were very thankful to have had them while we did.
perfect. Thank you. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, next we have our Washington Elementary presentation.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Dr. Cooper, and Board of Trustees. Tonight, I have a couple of us from our leadership team. We are coming to you tonight to present just a little bit on our student leadership and relationships that we have at Washington. We work really hard to build relationships and foster connections to help build leaders in our students. I told them they didn't have to talk, they just have to be here. And we'll see if I can work the technology. That can be a challenge for me sometimes. Am I not? Am I pushing the right button? Arrow? Yes? I mean, that helps too. There we go. So just some of the benefits of student relationships, and our younger students building relationships with their older peers can help those younger students feel just a little bit more of a sense of belonging, especially if they're anxious just coming to school, and offers them some positive role models. And then also some older kids that can help them navigate some of those challenges of school. Because I don't know if all of you have children, but sometimes they don't want to listen to the adults and they hear the message better from children. Older students, it gives them a sense of leadership and it helps them gain some responsibility being a role model. It helps them reinforce their own learning, both in academic when they're supporting students, but also their social skills, and can give them a sense of purpose also as they're guiding some of those younger peers. And it can reinforce some empathy as they start to help other students younger than them, or even their same age peers, navigate some learning or problems through a different perspective than their own. For the entire school, it benefits us because we can build those relationships, and it helps the students foster a culture of learning and leadership, and helps them feel connected to one another, and can help reduce some of those bullying behaviors and promote collaboration among the students and among the school staff. So And then this is a long one. I'm not going to read all the pieces, but the benefits of leadership for students, it can help them build their confidence and self-esteem. Some of those social emotional skills as they lead and having to have some refinement in the way they communicate with others, gives them a sense of ownership in their building, in their learning, and with relationships among their peers. It offers them responsibility and accountability. Gives them critical thinking, again, as they're having to navigate some of those situations with peers, and then prepares them for future endeavors, because no matter what field they go into, they're going to need some of those leadership skills and relationship skills to be successful as they move in the future. And again, it just helps foster some positive culture. So in what ways does Washington foster those relationships and leadership? This is not an exhaustive list. There, I think, as we talk, there could be a million things, but you probably don't want to sit here all evening, so we'll just give you some of them. Relationships, we have what we call in our building Patriot Pals. Once upon a time, they were reader leaders, but they have definitely spawned beyond just sitting in a classroom reading together. Our Patriot Pals do a lot of activities together, classroom activities. They read books with one another. The little ones, we usually pair them, or set them up with like an older grade level and a younger grade level, and they'll read to each other. When we do our relocation drills and reunification, our junior kindergarten walks with our 5th graders so that there's a peer for them to walk with as we're going through the neighborhood. And those 5th graders take some responsibility for those little ones. The Veterans Day Parade, again, we had them paired up with their peers to help kind of monitor little ones as they're going through the street. And then our Patriot Poke that we do as a fundraiser, they really get to cheer each other on. Social skills activities with relationships, they get to help cook the Christmas dinner that some of you were able to attend, set up and taking down for events, helping out in classrooms with varied activities. And then our older kids can apply to be stage managers or library workers, and it helps them build some of those relationships with the younger kids. And then some of these are in both categories, but we have student-led assemblies. Our 4th graders lead our assemblies, and I'll show you a little more on that. And then just classroom assignments. Who's the line leader? Who has what responsibility in the classroom? Our pledge leaders every day. Students come down and help say the pledge at the beginning of the day. And then students helping teach other students. Again, that can be our older, younger peers as we have them reading together, helping support each other through some of those skills. Our library workers, and then our program stage managers. So we'll start here with our Patriot Pals. Am I missing anything? Nope. Okay. So we, as I said earlier, we've taken an upper grade level and paired them with a younger grade level. They do projects together. They can read. They act as a mentor for their younger peers, and it helps them develop relationships. And the younger kids love their big kid peers, and those big kids take that responsibility very seriously, and they support each other and cheer each other on. Here you can kind of see on the far end, well, I guess I'm looking at the far end, but on the right side there you can see the young lady holding the one's hand with her little hat. That was walking through the parade. And then the other 2 pictures are when we're doing our Patriot Poke. You can see the other kids working to cheer each other on. They stand out there with signs to cheer on their Patriot Pals and yell for them. And then here's some of those social skills activities. Kids volunteer to help out. In the one picture there on the end with the bench, you can see that we have some of our upper grade kids are actually helping assemble some of that library furniture that they got this year, and so they're helping Mrs. Thane by putting things together. The middle picture, it's our structured play. They have the opportunity to learn how to share and take turns, which is an important one for building relationships, but also we know as leaders we need to be able to work together with other people. And then on the far end, you can see they're working, actually making the Christmas dinner. If you were able to come, that's some of them getting some of those items prepared, taking turns, following the recipe with the guidance of an adult. They're helping younger kids. Here you see the stage hands. There in the middle, you have a 5th grade student, and she's helping lead those little ones up onto the stage, helping direct them and guide them. And then the other 2 photos are our library helpers, helping check out books and helping little kids pick out books. And we have a video later of, I don't know if it'll play wasn't playing earlier this morning when I was looking at it, trying to show our staff this presentation, but of a young man trying to talk to a little boy about how his book's overdue, so he didn't get to check out today, but there were other things he could do. And then our 4th grade leads our student assemblies, so they really take charge of that. Their teachers support them. We have 2 virtual assemblies each year and 2 in-person assemblies. These options give some of our more extroverted students the opportunity to shine in front of the group with all of the people staring back at them, and then it also gives some of our more introverted students an opportunity to still be able to take charge, lead those assemblies, but they're standing in front of a camera while other students are watching it from their classroom, so they can still lead, but they're not feeling the pressure of all the people watching. They have scripts that they read from, they tell little jokes, they even sing. I don't know that I would even sing on the camera when other people aren't staring back at me, but they're pretty brave. Either way that they get to present, they do get to lead the celebration for our students and all of their achievements. And it's been really fun to watch. It's, I think, more entertaining for everybody to see the kids really take charge of that. Our student workers that we talked about a little bit earlier, this is a sample application for Mr. Gremlick. If you want to be part of the stagehands that help in the music program, he does make the students fill out an application and then looks through those applications and visits with the students and their teachers to see if it's reflective, and they get to be chosen as stagehands based off of some of those application pieces. And then our student helpers in the library, Mrs. Thane, also has those students fill out applications as well, and they have to, she visits with their teachers as well to make sure that they're being responsible in the classroom, because they want those responsible students leading as helpers. And then this is the one that I wanted to play. I'm not sure if it will play. How do I get it to play from here or something?
No, you don't. I'm sorry. So you do have an overdue book. So can you please make sure to bring those in as soon as possible, please?
So he's gently telling that young man, like, you have an overdue book, but it's okay. We've got things that you can do. And it's really fun. You watch him the other day. I was laughing because the adults are trying to walk the kids down the hallway, and they're doing all their things. And these 2 little boys that you'd seen in the picture, him in the video being one and another one, led those kids down the hallway and told them, like, we're going in the hallway. You need to be quiet, respectful, and responsible. I have never seen kids walk so quietly through the hallway. So they're doing a great job. And then we also like to let our students take some of that lead, take those risks. Many of you got to see that firsthand last month as they came and had written their own speeches and presented to you, inviting you to come join them. They also were able to escort people in. And then you can see on that far end, they helped develop the shopping list for the meals that they made, and went to the store and helped their teachers shop for those things. So they're really taking the initiative with the guidance of those adults to lead those activities. Anyway, our work, really working to build those relationships, I feel like creates a space that allows our students to be able to take the risks of leadership. And these are just some of the larger picture items in our building, but there are very many little things that happen throughout the day that aren't even coming to mind. But anyway, that's what we had for you today. Do you have any questions?
Great job.
Thank you. Ladies, anything else? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. Great job there at Washington. Moving on, we will go to bid request items 8.01. Consider approval to extend the current RFP for processed commodities for the school year of 2026 through 27.
We're just asking for a continuation of this current process that we're using for going out for commodities. And so just asking for a motion to support that continued practice.
Can I get a motion to approve?
All motion to approve.
Moved by Tom. Second by Michelle. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have a request approval to go out for RFP for custodial equipment and supplies.
Yeah, we've realized, as you know, some of us in leadership here have been spending a lot of time with our custodians and our maintenance crew over the last 3 months. And one of the things that we learned was that we did a deep dive into our current provider for equipment and for chemicals and materials and things like that. And we've been with this company since 2003. So it's been that long since we have gone out for bid. So it's a long time. And we're interested in going out to bid to see if we can get some better pricing and services. And so we're just requesting proposal to go out and see what, it's been 22 years, 23 years, so it's probably time. It's a little overdue time to put this out there and see if we can get some better pricing.
Great, thank you. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Moved by Dan,
I second.
second by Tommy. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, our other business, 9.01, General Fund Amendment, Fiscal Year 2026, Katie Harder.
Good evening, Madam Chair Castilian, Superintendent Dr. Cooper, and trustees. This is an amendment on the general fund budget. In October, the LSO sent out a memo regarding the estimated mineral and non-mineral ad valorem revenue for Wyoming school districts. So with these changes, it affected our recapture payment. So for the fiscal year 2026, the recapture payment is now $584,239.77, and of which we've paid 40% of that. The other part will be due in June. So please know that this does not affect our guarantee. We will still get the same guarantee. However, this really shows how our local taxes or our local revenue is for minerals is changing right now. So these changes are the top two lines, as you can see highlighted, for local sources and payments to the state foundation program. And then the 3,000 category general support. This amendment is adding the barn at the FFA site and also changing the amount of the impact aid available. And I do not have that highlighted. It's down below in the pink. So are there any questions?
Katie, so the $584,240, you said we paid 40% of that right now?
Yes.
And then when do we pay the other 60%?
It's due at the end of June.
June, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the general fund amendment fiscal year 2026?
So moved.
Moved by Tom,
Second.
second by Michelle. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And then, did we already do this part?
Of the audit financials. Yeah, so consider acceptance of the audit
Okay.
financials. Yeah.
So next we have consider acceptance of the audited financial statements for 2024-25.
Yep.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Sorry, I forgot to tell you, he's zooming in because he's
Okay.
alignments and
That's
stuff.
why I was like, huh?
So we're running a little, hopefully you can zoom in.
Okay.
All right. Are you guys able to see or hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. My name is Mike Burton with the Corian Company. I'm going to be presenting the financial statements real quick. I had a chance earlier to meet with the superintendent and the audit committee and go through the financials with a little bit more detail. So today we're just going to kind of go over the summary page. So this is at the very end of your financial statements, and it just gives an overall summary of how the audit went and how the financial statements are. The first item there, we expressed an unmodified opinion on the financial statements. That's the best opinion that you guys can receive. In regards to internal control, we did not identify any material weaknesses, and we did identify 2 significant deficiencies, and we'll talk about that in just a second. In regards to non-compliance material to financial statements, there weren't any. Some of the items that we look at there is budgetary compliance, also making sure that your cash reserves are insured either by FDIC or other means, those types of things there. So that's the financial statements. In regards to the federal awards, that's the single audit that we provide. It's an audit on federal money. So, and we expressed an unmodified opinion in regards to the compliance of major programs. We didn't identify any material weaknesses, and we didn't identify any significant deficiencies in an internal control. So there were no audit findings that were required to be disclosed. The major program this year that we audited was Title I, and that covers all Title I expenditures, including payables as well as payroll. And you guys do qualify as a low-risk auditee because you haven't had federal audit findings in the prior 2 years, and you're audited every year. Can we go to the next page real quick, please? So in regards to the findings at 2025-001, this is in regards to not having a complete segregation of duties. And really, it's just a finding on the size of your staff. This is not a finding on Katie, Ashley, or the staff. It's just a finding that the staff is not large enough to permit a complete segregation of duties. There aren't enough people to be able to review everything that is supposed to be reviewed. There's not enough people to have a complete separation that you're supposed to have. That being said, Katie and Ashley have done a fantastic job at asking questions and trying to mitigate that as best as possible. They've gone through, and I would say with a fine-tooth comb, and gone through to really figure out where they can have a better segregation of duties where they're allowed to. And so they've done a great job in regards to that. And then can I get one more page down, please? All right, so this finding, 2025-002, once again, this is not a finding against Katie or Ashley or the staff. The school district operates on what's called the cash basis. Traditionally, what that means is when you receive money from the state, you record revenue. When you write a check, you record an expense. However, in the financial statements, you're required to report it on an accrual basis, which means when you have services provided, regardless of if you've written a check or not, you have an expense. And when you're owed money, regardless of if you've gotten it or not, you record revenue. And there's a bunch of other things that you're required to do to go from the cash basis to the full accrual basis of accounting. When I started auditing, I believed we were at GASB number 50 or so, which is the standards that we're required to use for the financial statements. Right now, we're at GASB number 103. It's really not feasible for business managers anymore to keep up with all the different standards that are required to go from cash basis to full accrual. And so that's why this finding's in there, is because it's just saying, because Katie can't do it all and she doesn't have that knowledge base, which is completely understandable because it would be extremely difficult for anyone besides an auditor who does this every day to have that understanding. That being said, Katie does a fantastic job and she's getting better every single year at figuring out those different things. She asks questions in regards to what she can do better next year and what things she can do going from cash basis to the full accrual. And also she does better than a lot of other governmentals that we do. She is really close. She's just not there. And I don't know if many business managers ever will be there and able to completely go to the full accrual. So once again, it's not really a finding against Katie or the staff. It's just so difficult for anyone to do that type of accounting. Those are the two different findings. Are there any questions in regards to the financial statements or the findings that I just went over?
It doesn't look like there's any questions.
I think the findings are pretty explanatory, and obviously Katie, Ashley, you guys all do a phenomenal job. So thank you for what you do on that.
And that being said, in regards to the cash basis, because we do review some of that stuff, we didn't notice anything in our audit on the cash basis. I mean, the audit really did go very well. Katie, Ashley, all the other staff are fantastic to work with. They get everything to us as quickly as we ask. They're always asking questions in regards to how they can do things better. It went well, and I don't believe that there's really anything that I need to bring to the board.
Great.
Mike, how many other districts in Wyoming have gone full accrual basis? Are there any?
I'm sure that there are some. However, what some of those school districts do is hire out a contractor to help them go from cash basis to full accrual.
Okay, just curious.
And that's a cost that they've decided to do to remove this finding.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions?
There's no, since it's not feasible or what your explanation, there's no consequences to that then, is there?
No, nope. One of the other school districts that we audit, he said, so is this essentially just a check engine light that'll stay on forever? And I said, yeah. But there's nothing, the state completely understands. I mean, there's no impact in regards to federal stuff. Yeah, there's no impact. It's just something that we're required to put as a finding.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions?
I don't think so, looks like. Thank you so much for your time and taking the time to audit that and explain it to us tonight.
Yep, no problem. And thank you all so very much.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mike.
Good night.
Can I get a motion?
Have a good one.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the acceptance of the audited financial statements for 2024-25?
So moved.
Moved by Mandy,
Second?
second by Tommy. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, Ms. Covey, you are up. We'll first start with
tonight.
9.03. Consider approval of the revision to CKA policy firearms, and this is our third reading.
Correct. Good evening again, Madam Chair, Dr. Cooper, and Board of Trustees. We are continuing through our e-policies, sprinkled with a few others. But 9.03, CKA policy firearms, third reading. There were no changes or recommendations through our Super 8 meeting at this time.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the
I move to
revision?
approve.
Move to approve by Tommy?
Second.
Or second by Tom. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, 9.04A, consider approval of the revision of policy ECE, district cell phones. This is second reading.
Can we also add B in that, please,
Oh, yes,
Madam
and
Chair?
9.04B for the revision of policy EGAC, telephone services. This is also the second reading.
These two policies, again, coming out of Super 8 with continued discussion. There were no recommendations for any adjustments, and I appreciate your consideration for second approval for ECA district cell phones and EGAC telephone services.
Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Mandy,
Second?
second by Tate. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have 9.05, A through G. All of these are second reading.
Again, A through G were new policies that we are adding to our e-bank of policies. And again, through our Super 8 committee, no additional recommendations or changes at this point. So I do ask for your approval for second reading, 9.05A through G.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve 9.05A through G?
So moved.
Moved by Tate, second by Tom. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have 9.06, new policy EHAA-E, employee acceptable use, first reading.
And these next 10 policies that we are going to go through, I just want to again thank you to Mr. Williams, Mrs. Higbee, and Ms. Birmingham. They are been instrumental in getting these policies together and helping us move through them. So they're a great addition to our Super 8 committee, and also to our Super 8 committee again for their persistence, doing their homework and being ready to come forth as we go through these new policies as well here. So new policy EHAA -E, first reading. Really this policy is dealing with the employee acceptable use of technology, focusing on using district computers and network resources that are permitted and are encouraged through our district. And as well as we know, there's also in 1.2, it talks about those personal use is allowable when it doesn't conflict with the employee's responsibilities, and it conforms with district policies and including computer use and student data security policies here as well. And also the access to technology equipment and services, I do want to also highlight that's at 2.1 and 2.2, where really the access to technology is provided to facilitate the instructional and administrative tasks performed here by our district employees and volunteers. And to also completely understand that the work done on these, whether it's on their computers, any sort of communication, electric networks, email, voicemail, and internet, are not exclusively private and can be requested. So those are the highlights of new policy EHAA-E. I ask for your consideration for first reading.
Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Tom, second by Tommy. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, new policy EHAC, assigned security responsibility policy.
The highlights out of this policy is that individuals' ultimate goal is to protect the confidentiality, the integrity, and availability of that critical information that through our school district to ensure that compliance are under regulations. And also, Mr. Williams, our technology director, or that you may see him listed in our policies as our security officer, really his responsibility in helping ensure that the purposes for the data and the technology are secure at all times. And you'll see those responsibilities of our security officer are there in those bullets there. So it's a critical position, and we really look towards Mr. Williams to really support and ensure that assigned security responsibility within this policy. I ask for your consideration or first approval for new policy EHAC.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve policy EHAC?
So moved.
Moved by
Second.
Tate, second by Dan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have new policy EHBA, audit controls policy.
This, again, some highlights of this policy of really ensuring that implementing the hardware, the software, the procedural mechanisms, and that record and examine activity in our information system, that they contain that sensitive information. And really, we want to ensure that our district will identify any critical systems that require event during our auditing capabilities, our network drives, the storing of information, and that we're going to ensure that they are that the protection of all audit reports and their on log files that we continue to have, and that the school district will review the usage of software and application tools within those audit files as well.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Mandy,
Second.
second by Tate. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have 9.09, new policy EHBC, facility access controls policy. So the highlight of this policy is that it will launch activities to ensure the compliance with our facility access control standard and its associated implementation. And really, the big piece is that we maintain that hardware and the software, that they were reviewed at least on an annual basis. We're going to test that security and attributes of that hardware and software. Will also be conducted on an annual basis. And really, this thinks about the key badges, our access accounts, and as we all know, technology continues to change, and then we continue to keep those up to date to ensure that these controls and facility access are up to date and secure for all of us. Appreciate your consideration for first approval of EHBC.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Tate,
Second.
second by Michelle. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, new policy EHBD, Information System Activity Review Policy.
Again, highlights from this policy is that our district will clearly identify all critical systems that process sensitive information, and that the information will be maintained in those audit logs that we talked about in a previous policy as well. And there's also that balance of that cloud hosting versus machine hosting to secure our information from user IDs, dates and times of logins and log-offs, terminal identification, those IP addresses and the location if possible, and records of successful or if you were rejected from accessing or attempting to access our system are all under that control system. Appreciate your first reading of EHBD.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve EHBD?
I move to approve.
Moved by Tommy,
Second.
second by Tom. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, new policy EHCB, Risk Management Policy.
The purpose of this is just to implement security measures that are sufficient to reduce those risks and the vulnerabilities of our systems. As I've been learning and working with Mr. Williams on this, really, there's a free CISA, and it's the state risk assessment management that we also use, as well as those federal cybersecurity components here in place. And that really there's 3 phases if there were risk management, from assessing it to mitigating it and evaluating the assessment of that. Appreciate your consideration for first approval of EHCB.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve EHCB?
So moved.
Moved by Tom,
Second.
second by Michelle. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 9.12, new policy EHDC, Contingent Plan Policy. First reading.
So this policy is stating that we need to develop those contingency plans and documents if there were some sort of breach that were to occur, that we have identified core activities in the areas of data plan backup, disaster recovery plan, emergency mode operation plan, testing and revising this in the applications, and for data analysis as well. So this is definitely something to look into a little bit deeper when we need to look to develop what those specific steps look like here in our district if we were to ever encounter some sort of a breach to our system that would impact our technology. So this is a contingency plan policy, and I appreciate your first reading, or appreciate your consideration of first reading of EHDC.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Mandy,
Second.
second by Tate. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We're almost through them all.
We're getting there.
9.13, new policy EHDD, Data Breach Management.
This one goes into a little more depth on the data breach management. And if a data breach is discovered here in our school district, the following steps will be followed in order to prevent further damage, assess the severity of it, as well as manage any associated breach activities. We would have a CERT team, which is our security incident response team, would be coming in and be setting forth the priorities set forth by our security officer within that CERT team of really looking at stopping the leakage, mitigating the weaknesses, restoring to normal business, and the notification of persons or businesses that are being impacted through this breach. Appreciate your consideration for first reading for EHDD.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve policy EHDD?
So
Moved by Michelle.
Second.
Second by Tate. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. New policy EHDE, response and reporting policy.
Again, the purpose within this policy is to identify and respond to suspected or known security incidences. Again, you're going to hear the same thing, that mitigating and to what extent has happened, the harmful effects of this. And really, this policy will require addressing the following 7 steps, and there are 7 steps that our team would then be expected to be following as we worked through a response or reporting policy aspect. Appreciate your consideration of first reading for EHDE.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve policy EHDE?
So moved.
Moved by Tom, second by Michelle. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Last one, 9.15, new policy EHDF, security incident procedures policy, first reading.
This one is really to create that process for identification, reporting, and ensuring a timely response to a real or potential violation of the security or any material breach of any part of our district security system. So really thinking in terms of we will maintain procedures, identify those incidents within this policy. Appreciate your consideration for EHDF first reading.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve new policy EHDF?
So moved.
Moved by Tate.
Second.
Second by Michelle. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And again, a big thank you to Super 8. And this is a big section, so it's going to take us a
With
minute.
lots of
but-
new policies that we have to
Yeah.
bring up to speed with the times we're in.
Yes, thank you so
Thank you.
much. Okay, we'll move on to our superintendent and board comments. We'll start down with Tommy this time.
Okay. I hope everybody had a great break. It's good to see all of us back in the swing of things, back in gear. 26 seems to be kicked off with a bang. Over the break, I've fielded a lot of compliments for the district and the ongoings, and I think that reflects back on everyone. So well done. It's great to see all of the activities here, the student successes. That's nice. And good job to Washington, always hearing great things going on there. Well done, Katie and Ashley on the audit. I think you guys definitely are doing your due diligence and keeping us in line. So thank you and well done to all.
Andy?
Want to echo Ashley and Katie. I think the last thing the board wants to see is a major finding, so thank you for the work you guys do. I want to give a shout out to our central administration. I know in the last couple months you guys have had to step into some roles that are kind of outside the norm, so thank you for doing that and keeping the departments running smoothly and pushing forward. I appreciate that. Sad to see some of our retirement people go. I know Shannon Brahacek for one. If it was up to her, I think she'd probably work till the end of time. So wish all of them the best of luck. Sad to see them go. And that's it.
Thank you. Dan?
Same thing. Great job, Katie and Ashley on the audit. Always do a good job. I'm glad to see all our kids up here doing great with all the wrestling and All-State. And we also have a busy sport weekend this week. The Towman tournament. We got the basketball tournament going on now. So we have a lot of sports going on. Glad we're all back. I think some kids need it to come back and get a little bit of structure back. Other than that, that's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Michelle?
I just want to reiterate what everyone has said. I appreciate the central office staff really stepping up. I hope you feel our support. And Katie and Ashley, thank you so much. I hear great things even from your predecessor, so that's a good thing, huh? And the activities, it's so impressive in that we can be a part, like Colleen's last hurrah here. What a wonderful career she's had, not just math teaching, but coaching swimming, and that we're a part of that, because behind all the students' achievements are great educators and coaches that are supporting and encouraging, and if they weren't there, so shout out to all our educators in Washington. Great, it was good to see those pictures, all those kids. So, yep, and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Tom?
Well, I'll start with Happy New Year. Hope everybody had a great holiday break and enjoying this rare Wyoming weather. So we're probably going to pay for this down the road, but hats off to Colleen Seeloff. What an outstanding career. She's provided us with, made our money in the pool worthwhile.
Right.
Because she packs them in and is always very competitive. But the kids that have had a chance to be with her are better because of it. So we'll miss her. Katie, thank you. You're doing an outstanding job. Not enough to be said about our central office staff in general. Katie, Brooke, your first month of by yourself, you're doing a great job. Anne Marie, I got to bombard your custodian meeting the other day, but to take on the custodial project is amazing. Alan and Scott, thank you, all of you. And then just one last thing about the student council young man. 500 volunteer hours. That's 10 hours of volunteer time a week for a year.
Yeah.
That's a fourth of a full-time contract.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. So, anyway, that's all I have. Thank you, all of you.
Thanks.
Thanks everybody for coming out tonight. It's great to see all the students coming. I know we were always proud of our sports programs, but to see the choir, student council, all state, how good they're doing in those areas is awesome to see. Middle schoolers recognizing them here. That's I think we need more of that. It starts at the bottom and works up to the top to the high school. So Washington, every time I walk in the school, I see you guys doing great things. Keep it up. LMS is doing a fundraiser this week for a student that's very ill. If you have students at LMS, please help out there. They're also taking donations. It's something great they're doing there. Hope everybody's having a great New Year. I missed all you guys. It's glad to be here again.
Thank you. I would just echo everyone's comments as well. I can't believe the first semester's already over. It seems like it's gone by fast. And I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who steps up. I know there's a lot of people doing a lot of extra jobs and stepping in where they see the deficiencies. So thank you so much to everybody.
Great. Thank you. And without repeating all the great accolades that have been shared out here, I do echo all those as well. So I'm going to just jump into some new things here. Big shout out to Nancy Core. 40 years of service. So as you know, she retired last week after 40 years to the day. It was the 6th of January when she started working with our district 40 years ago. Very few employees make it to 40 years. So you might have seen it in the Friday notes that I sent out last Friday. There's a picture of her leaning over her cake, and a beautiful cake celebrating 40 years and all the flowers and everything. So we had a big celebration down there at the maintenance department where she served out the second half of her 40 years. She was in several locations, a little bit here in Central too, but she finished out most of her career down there and was a great asset to our department and our district. So she'll be missed, but she's on to greener pasture and some golfing opportunities. I had some great presentations with the commissioners and the city council yesterday, also on Tuesday, in the morning and in the evening there. We were very well received. I just gave a big overview of all the greatness that's happening in our district, all the highlights that you've seen through slide presentations throughout that whole first semester. Kind of pulled that together for a kind of a highlight reel. And then I ended, of course, with GRIP, graduating ready for industry and purpose. Get a grip on your future today. Because I love this work. The work baseline. So, and the community loves this. The industry partners love this. So this is always a fun way to end those presentations, because then a lot of times, and this happened at the city council meeting, they would come up and Katie from Parks and Rec wants to take on a work-based learning student. Reed, the city manager, wants to get a work-based learning student involved in the city governance. So that was just a neat opportunity. I went on the very next day onto the Rock Springs Chamber to be on a panel with Southwest Manufacturing Partnership, where again we talked about more of this, and we had more businesses come up and want to talk about how can we get Green River students involved in some work experience during their senior year. So a lot of positive presentations, a lot of community outreach to our stakeholders in the very first week of the second semester. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah, basketball games tonight, and the boys start at 7:30. I know, coming right up with the varsity game. And Thursday night, we have more basketball games. We have the wrestling with the Tolman Classic Friday and Saturday, both at the rec center and at the high school. So I'm going to be there for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Monday is a professional development day, so no kids on Monday, right? If you have kids out there, so remember, Monday's a day off for the kids. Lots of professional development for our staff throughout the district. Everybody has something to do to get some training, and it's a great opportunity for our staff. And then just a quick shout out, you might have noticed or heard about the FFA site is getting some foundation work right now for that barn that's coming in a couple of months. So they're down there digging the foundation, and this weather has been outstanding to really help with the construction work down there. So if you see some activity down there, that's what's going on down there at that site. And thank you, everyone. Happy New Year. It's great to be back. This is a lot of fun, and I do miss this work too, Tate. This is a lot of fun here. And thank you to my team. We have stepped up above. I mean, these guys are amazing right here. Just amazing. So thank you all. And yeah, with that, I don't want to talk too long because we have some basketball games to get to.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, we will go into executive session for the purpose of personnel.
I'll make a motion, we go into executive session for personnel.
Moved by Tom.
I second.
Second by Tate.
Who all do you want
And
in?
then we'll invite you in a minute.
Sure.
Sound good? Okay. Okay.
I'll make a motion, we come out of executive session.
Second.
Motion by Tom, second by Tate. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Madam Chair, I move to approve Superintendent Cooper's contract to extend it 2 years with a revised date of June 30th, 2029.
Second.
Okay, moved by Tommy, second by Tom. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to, do I have to have a motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
Can I get a motion to adjourn our meeting?
So moved.
Moved by Dan, second by Tom. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everybody, for all of your hard work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.